I just wanted to make a video to teach people how to play bass with no musical knowledge. If you have a bass that you have available and you always wanted to learn to play the bass but don't know anything about music, this is the right video for you. In this video today, I want to teach you the basics of playing a 12-bar blues, which would be probably the easiest form of music, without knowing anything about the fretboard, without knowing the name of any of the notes that you're playing, just using simple pattern that we're going to talk about here today. I remember years ago starting a band, and our bass player had never played any instrument ever. We bought a bass for him, and on a napkin I wrote out this little pattern and a few other patterns which we'll cover in future videos, and he was able to play great. He didn't know the name of any of the notes he was playing. As long as he knew what dot we were starting on for the song, he could play along with us, and the band was actually successful. We played out in a lot of clubs and some fairly big events, so this will be good for you to learn. All right, let's get into it. I'm trying to film this video basically from the best angle I could come up with, that if you're looking down at your bass in your lap, this is what you would see. Now this happens to be a 5-string bass. There's a low string, but then the next 4 strings are what would be on a 4-string bass. So this would be the E string on a 4-string bass. The 5-string bass happens to have 1 string lower. This is a B. It's very low. I don't know if you can hear that. That came through the camera. But to learn to play songs, the easiest thing to start with is the blues. And you really only need to learn 3 positions to put your fingers. The first being here. So this would be you're on the 5th fret up, or the 2nd dot. You can start on the 2nd dot on what on a 4-string would be the thickest string. On a 5-string bass would be the 2nd string from the bottom, or 2nd thickest string. Now, this happens to be an A, but you don't need to even know that. If you can look over at a guitar player and see that they're at the 2nd dot up, that would be an A. But if you can, this would be, for this song, this would be basically the root note. And then we're going to use, if we go to the next thinner string, that would be the next note of the pattern. And then if we skip 2 frets up, that would be the next note. So if you know that one, make this little L here. So this would be a little L. 1, 2, 3. If you have those 3 notes, you can play basically any 12-bar blues song. So for example, you'd hit that note, and then the next one would be, then you'd go back to the first one, then you'd go up to that next string up and down 2 frets, then back down, then back to your thickest string. That'd be the basis of a 12-bar blues. All right, we're going to get started playing here right away. So we have a little drum machine going. You can hear that in the back. But just with the 3 notes that we learned, the first one, second one, and the third one, we can play a little bit of blues. Ready, go. All right, so hopefully you got that. Now, if we want to add a little more color to the song, we already learned the L, those 3 notes, 1, 2, 3. Now, if we think of it as a square box instead of an L, if we think of it as 1, 2, 3, but then add the 1 down here, or basically 1, 2, 3, 4. So this box right here, that box right there, then you can play almost any song with that box. But to add a little color, if you're playing along on the root note, so that would be if you're a 4-string, it'd be the thickest string on the second dot, which is an A. Or if you're on a 5-string, it'd be the second thickest string up on the second dot, which would be an A. Then when we're getting ready to change up to that one, if we add the one from the box, and then its neighbor, and then instead of going right to this one, if we add the one below it, and then up to that, you'll hear a little blues run. So we'll try that here. So it'd be, so you got that. So the root, then up to that second part of the box, and then one up from it, one below, and then up to that third part of your box. All right, now we're gonna try it along with our little drummer here. Ready, go. All right, and hopefully you got that, and feel free to pause the video at any time to work on that. So far we've learned the L, which is the basis of the blues. This one, then 1 string thinner, and then up 2 frets, or the box, which would be the bass note, and then go up 2, and then up to the next thinner string, and then up 2. So, or the box is. Now, if we add those little colorful notes, remember it would be. All right, and this little L that you learned, those 3 notes, that would work for the blues in any key. You can start in any key. You could start down on the first dot. It'd be. And the box works down there too. And the box with the color notes. That works on in any position on the neck. If you can find out where guitar player is starting at, how many dots up, or it could even be between dots, those are flat notes or sharp notes, then you can, predominantly flat or sharp notes, then you could play along in whatever key they're playing in. So when we're playing this with those color notes, and then in the second part of the blues, we're hanging out on that note, we can do the same color notes. That works on any place on the scale or on the neck. You can use these same patterns. Now with our drummer, we're going to play through more like a 12-bar blues using our 3 root notes and adding color notes at all of the 3 levels. So we'll get ready to go now. Now you might notice that I'm hitting some notes that are more just like percussive notes in between the levels that we're at. And it really, those notes would be normally down, whatever note you're on. If you can go down a string, that's why I like a 5-string, is when you're on that second dot up on the thickest string, you actually have a one string thinner, or one string thicker, and that you can play along with the drummer's bass drum. That really helps to lock you in. So it would be like a you might notice that we've been putting in one more color note here between our second position and our third position. We're putting in this little color note here. And that really gives it the flavor that people are expecting to hear when you're playing the blues. All right, we got our buddy, the drummer, going again. Let's try this again. You can feel free to play along or stop the video and grab your bass and try to do this. You can even do this on the thicker strings of a guitar. You can mimic the bass if you want to learn that. So we'll start now. Oh, one other thing. What if you don't have a 5-string and you want to get that percussive sound? You can actually go up a string and up 2 frets and do. All right, so hopefully you were able to pick up the basis of a 12-bar blues pattern and without knowing anything about music or knowing the name of any of the notes that we played here today. If this video was helpful to you, please leave a comment. That would help me to know what you want to work on. And next video, we'll plan on talking about some other patterns that really unlock the fretboard of the bass and help you to play other types of songs besides the blues without knowing any of the notes you're playing and without memorizing the fretboard. Just learning some patterns will really help. All right, thanks for watching.